everyone, Day here bringing you another episode in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. As we know from last time, we were getting ready to interview the witnesses for the first time. The judge was getting ready to, I believe, allow us to actually cross-examine those witnesses, or at least hear their testimony first, because I don't think we actually received that. So I'm not going to really dawdle around. We're just going to hop right back into it, since I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very long case, and I do want to at least progress a little bit further down into the case. So the judge says,
"You must state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred." "Sir, yes sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir."
Yeah, I got stumbled because of the sound. I want to say that sounds like a baby. It sounded like a baby was whining. And yeah, it only happens with him, so I'm guessing he has a baby or something. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. His ears. Oh my gosh, he does have the longest ears I've ever seen. I've actually seen people in real life with longer ears than that, but the way they jiggle, oh my goodness. When the witnesses saw,
"I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a technical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes."
Yeah, he has a baby. He has to have a baby.
"The black uniform varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel."
The cowardly little weasel, huh? "I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio." You were on your hands and knees, sir. With all those tablecloths, you sure you saw anything?
"Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim." "Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and the unforgivable enemy."
What? It's just so weird to hear a baby and to see this guy in military garb. I don't fully get it. "What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day."
But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone." "Is that really true, Ryunosuke?"
"Kazuma?"
"Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor."
You should not have been channeling Edgeworth 2 generations beforehand.
After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee.
Did want to touch on it. I did get a nice review explaining that, yes, this Wilson and the girl in London, Iris Wilson, will indeed share the same name. This was from Jay Shirato, I believe is how you say your name. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But yes.
Then, when I had finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. An English-made gun. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it.
Yeah, because I want to say that even in today's modern Japanese society, guns are hard to come by. Like, it's kind of odd that this gun actually even exists, I believe.
So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, that's all she wrote. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And there were also 2 guns. There were 2 handguns in the vicinity.
That feels even more bizarre, but I mean, if he's holding one and he didn't shoot it, but he heard the gun go off after he picked up the weapon, therefore it had to be another gun in that same room.
And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is... Ryunosuke! You must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? He's just as bad as I am. I know I repeat a lot of things over in my mind. Or even out loud. Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this I can't help it. I love him, okay? Everything he does is adorable to me. What in the name of the Empire is the meaning of this outburst? I mean the defense... The minister is right to a cross-examination. He just seems so nervous.
Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
I love that this game, they couldn't basically Americanize it. I love that there is a lot of Japanese lore just oozing through the pores of this game. Huh? How did he know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. I promise you, it just makes him hotter somehow. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. Which we have like 2 pieces of. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now, let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh, what was that? It was...
Alright then, it's all or nothing. Oh my goodness. It's like he's scared to even hurt the desk or like piss off the military officials in the audience. What the witnesses saw? I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. The old man who was on his hands and knees at the time. That old man, is that what you speak of? I'm going to press the statement. I don't think anything is lost from gathering information early on. Why? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? It looks like he's gonna break. Maybe we need to keep it up. I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then. The fact that he raises his hand is endearing. This beefsteak you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tenjun! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. He sold it. He sold it. No, my mouth is drooling. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. The baby! Where is the baby? Right. I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tishan! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal, tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Oh my goodness, even that sounds good and I never had that. Accept your guilty verdict. Atone for your crimes. And when you're released from prison, try it. I'm all but convinced he has a baby behind his back. Because his hand has always been... His hand has always been hidden behind his back. His left hand. Yes, sir. I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops. Sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. What? We're still going down this line of... Is it just me? Okay, this is actually a very good question. Or do I keep hearing some sort of wah? Yeah. Negative. He has a baby. Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's hilarious to me that he's saying awarded prime presser. We can get achievements in this game. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Well, I'm glad I pressed that. I got an achievement for it. Okay, so yeah, he has a baby or something behind him. And I know I said that a million times. It's obvious at this point. But it's more so the fact that he's hiding it. Kurikuta? Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. Yes. The fact that he says yes instead of hold it. I have no idea what you're talking about. A koban, boy. A koban? You mean an old Edo coin? Or Edo? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Heian period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said items secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hope of an affluent cognoscent. I actually don't know how to pronounce that, really. Cognoscent, appraised of its indisputable value being present. I gotta look that up. So you were hoping to sell your koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant? Yes, yes. It's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! No, I didn't say anything. Yeah, that was all him over there. Though penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. Oh, that was him. Not... No, I'm getting confused already. I see. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. So, this is actually an important sentence to suppress, I know. You're saying that you actually saw me at that time. Affirmative! I saw you. Every time he says affirmative, he reminds me of this guy from my job. He answers by saying affirmative. Laughing, cackling like a madman as you train to barrel your gun on the English civilian. Now. That's a leading statement. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. Sogi, so cool. Was that private? Thinking carefully about that statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was?
Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun.
And double. My sixth sense.
Sorry?
My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind.
That is more unbelievable than anything else you have said.
Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet.
No. Surely that's not really possible, is it?
Do you think I'd have gotten where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son?
Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good.
The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian from the back. The cowardly little weasel.
And from the back. I think I could present my evidence here. I don't necessarily need to press anymore because I'm pretty sure it's the fact that we definitely see that he was shot from the front. But achievements! Now that I know I could get achievements, it's kind of tempting to press everything. But I won't. Because I'm pretty sure I'll replay this game at some point anyway. Ouchie. Judge.
What? What are you playing at, Cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes, there's a clear inconsistency here.
Tisk, what nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. That is me. That is literally me, especially when I'm in public. I can't always get the words I want to say out. I don't know why. I just get so nervous.
I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom.
This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It could be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma? What?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there is a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant Iisa Nosa.
Yes, sir. What, sir?
The statement you just made was this. The black uniform I don't know why I want to keep saying a different word. Varsity cadet fired on an English civilian. And from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
But no, that can't be.
And why not, cadet?
Because.
Take a close look at the print.
The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? This is so good. Oh, there's the baby! Well, oh my gosh, don't push the baby's head down like that. Well, what was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it back down again.
Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were
on your baby, wasn't it?
Firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir.
What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iyisa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
Ugh, that's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Oh my gosh, the energy that Kazuma is. That aura, if you will. Oh, so good. Inconsistency C awarded. Oh my gosh.
There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy.
You know, I have to admit, I always wondered what turnabout meant. Because I think all Ace Attorney cases were labeled turnabout instead of like chapters or anything. So this is what an Ace Attorney is all about. Kazuma, it's just his presence.
But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Stop saying yes.
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either.
He was on the freaking floor on all fours, if I remember correctly. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. He had agendas. I believe he said he was looking for one of his curios. Too busy on the floor. Sorry, but what were you doing exactly? Hunting for treasure.
Treasure? On the floor.
Oh, don't break that. Indeed, the Hoyera Koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest for my shop, Resute,
in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you.
On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my holy treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with a little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case, mayhap, it had fallen there, and then it happened.
So he was under the tablecloth. You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but I heeded it not. No, sir, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded holy treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Wow, I just noticed that he only has one... he only has one lens on his glasses. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
That sucks. The thing that had his attention the most is still something he has not found. I see.
That lamentable day, the precious Hoi Koban was lost to me.
That's going to come up at some point. Especially since he couldn't find it.
No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
Oh. So maybe he was distracted with taking it or something. Because he keeps talking about he was distracted by the steak, but...
like how the old man is like looking. He is glaring him down. He does not trust him whatsoever. Now I'm starting not to trust him whatsoever either. If it's missing and he couldn't find it and he still hasn't found it, chances are him or the baby took it, possibly. Maybe like the baby has it.
As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution.
It may demand a swift and decisive resolution, but not my heart. My heart demands that we figure out exactly what happened here, who the true culprit is, because I am not going to prison on behalf of someone else just because you guys want to finish this case soon and swift.
Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Auchi?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed the despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. I'm not Gru, okay? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out from over your shoulder, I believe.
Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Aido.
It would seem those shrubs are a sign of the sergeant being too shrubbed to afford a nanny.
Aido. Tinshan!
Aido. Because I know I is pronounced like a E sounding. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to pronounce your baby's name.
Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch learn, my boy.
Ew, he has a snot just dangling in the wind. No! Witness testimony. The true culprit.
Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
There was a woman here. Or at least according to Ryunosuke.
Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over a note! These testimonies are certainly
Uplifting? Is that what he said?
Wait! That's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all.
Please, enough of these outbursts already.
But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
He keeps bringing up this woman. But everyone, including the waiter, claims that she does not even exist. What in the name of all that is potatoes is going on here?
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident.
If
if there really was a lady at the table, it just begs the question of why are they protecting her so hardcore? What would be the goal in doing so? The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is that a different picture? Dr. Wilson doesn't seem to be in it.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Consul?
Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. But Dr. Wilson isn't in this one. But that steak. Ho ho, the steak is. Now I want to buy some steak. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else.
Ugh, this doesn't make any sense. He seems so certain. I have no doubt in my mind that there had to be a woman there. I just don't really see the correlation between why everyone is lying about her being there versus, us just being the only ones that claim to have seen her.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record.
The photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. It is described as a bottle of carbonated water. Carbonated water. Like, I feel like that. It's not just water. It's carbonated water, And a steak lunch can be seen under the victim's table. They don't describe anything for no reason. I don't understand. What's going on here? Another phoenix-like face. It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman.
The waiter before said the same thing.
Yeah, 3 people.
He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well.
But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him.
Does Kazuma not believe us? It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Auchi, will have contributed to the enmity of these 2 great empires is an honor.
How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What?
If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth. In your cross-examination, of course.
I don't know, Kazuma. Everyone seems to believe that she wasn't there. Maybe I don't know, maybe I need glasses, like... Or Ouchie, let me borrow your glasses.
The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses. But make it quick. Understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times.
I wonder what his fan says, because I bet you it's something pretentious. Cross-examination. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes, pointed his gun at the foreign man. He was. That young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Therefore, no one other than that black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out.
Okay.
What do you think, Ryunosuke?
Oh.
What's the matter?
I can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No.
Listen, the first thing to do is calm down for one. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You could choose to either press or present against each of the witness statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with L. With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything, even slightly jars with you. Press the witness on it and press them hard. Alright, got it. I pressed them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant. I'm sure of it. And one way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them. For all they're worth, my fate depends on it. So yeah, I would definitely need more. I'm like, I don't know. That's why I was just going forward. I'm like, what's interesting, what's not? No. It's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so.
Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Did you?
Did you see it? Did you see me blink?
How could I?
And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
Oh my gosh, that means nothing. Have what? Attention! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
Waving now? I think that says it all, don't you?
Her.
And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuta-san?
Kurikuta, he was just... Well, he said he did see me pointing at... Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at the point in time. But I've told you already, and I'll keep telling you 1,000 times more, that's only because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away.
I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when... I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment... See, that just leads to another firearm being there. So therefore, I don't know if we could read ballistic markings in this time period, but obviously the gun I had versus the gun that shot that bullet are two different weapons.
Full of events beyond our control, life is.
Sorry? What do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament.
Yes, you pulled a Edgeworth first.
Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the Kaban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
The way he's examining this knife, though. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I am growing a callus in my ears. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman.
If only there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency. There was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Consul? Information I may need.
It is a medical report, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Hada Clinic. Oh, haha, I know that. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. 1 p.m., eh?
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke?
Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really.
Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful.
Oh, really?
Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence? Or not?
No, we need that.
It's the first new evidence we've had in a long time. We need it. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds?
Oh, we didn't get that far.
The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence will be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Oh, strong. Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon. You're a freaking thorn on my side. Shut up.
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Tush! Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend.
Oh, yes. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report to the court record. Thank you.
A medical report card from Hada Clinic that was found in the victim's pocket. What did he go there for, though?
The victim's medical report card has been entered into the court record. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things for every possible... We do get to examine it from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right.
I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurikuta-san. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Alright, so I'm going to look at... Can I look at my evidence? I can't examine that. What? Oh. I could magnifying glass stuff? It doesn't make a difference though. Is that blood? No, I guess that's just you cutting the steak. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me right now. I can examine this. Okay. So he was facing the kitchen at that point. If they're trying to say that's how he was shot. Victim John H. Wilson, male British. Shortly after 2 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. Okay. And my university color pen. Okay, so we'll continue to press for information. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. He doesn't look as scared anymore. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. The way he phrased that. This is all done by someone above all of them. It's basically like the prosecution is hiding the fact that that witness was there, is what I'm leaning towards now. That lady was there. They probably did see her, but they're biting their tongue on that information because of the prosecution or something. We've seen it time and again before. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. Can't deny that. Points have been proven. No. But maybe she just didn't eat that day. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? Yeah, see? It leads to the prosecution hiding evidence or whatever. If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea why they would. Therefore, no one other than that black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. I mean, she looks like a woman to me. And it looks like she's wearing a blue outfit. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. They're lying. They're holding their tongue for a reason. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry, the waiter too. The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be mentioned. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. Actually, I could go to the history. Phantom woman be made, because I pressed the A button too soon. That was my error. There's nothing I can say to that. Tish! I can't stand you. You're just as bad as your future lineage. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes. While they actually changed this part, it was different before, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I applaud the translation team for the hard work they did, because I know that I read an article where most all the translation took place during the pandemic, which means that all of it was, harder to do and stuff. I appreciate the dedication that they used towards actually not just shelving this for later and stuff, and we actually get to play it now. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Huh, so we did have to go this far. Okay. I feel better that I didn't catch anything, because I'm like, I can't present evidence when I'm not sure where to present evidence to. So yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. I couldn't. It was blocked. If I can. That's very shady. I tried. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use all those commands to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using all those commands of L versus R, rather, L stick, R stick, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. I would have done that if I was allowed to do so. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, what a way to describe it, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Like, why did he go to the doctors that day? Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use all those commands and aid to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Okay. It says Hada Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics. Almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Yeah, I mean, when it concerns surgeries, of course, I can't say I like them either. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Oh, it's not? I can't find anything out of place. Okay, let's turn it over then. What does this say? It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Huh. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Back then, it would probably be better for you to actually definitely go to the doctors. Well, if you were dead, there would be no point. So you don't like doctors then. Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. It sounds like he's describing America. Healthy curiosity awarded. Seriously? I'm gonna want to press and present on everything now. Seriously. You could get achievements for everything. Achievements are addicting. And yes, I do have a PS4 and I had dabbled a little bit in Xbox, but I've never actually played to achieve all the achievements. It feels like it will get addicting. It will definitely get addicting. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Okay, can we open it? Yes, we can. Wait, can I? I guess I could look at all of them. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day that the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar, that's... Yeah, I was about to say, that's definitely tooth related. You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. I mean, because in modern times, if you are going to a dentist and you have a tooth removed or you use laughing gas, you're not about to eat a freaking steak. So my guess now is that it was the woman's steak, and he probably had the carbonated water. He was just drinking water, which replaced and the food was the woman's. Aha. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern, because it was carbonated water, which makes sense when you realize he had a tooth pulled or something. Perhaps they use laughing gas as the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia, although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Yeah. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic... Wow. Can't say the word now. Anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. The medical report card's information has been updated in the court record for the better. A record of dental work on the day of the murder, the victim had undergone dental treatment and been prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. So the food was not his. It could not have been his. He would not be eating steak.
with this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Even if what I saw was the precise moment, no. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Dining all by himself. I'm going to press the last one though, just to see. Nope, we're going to go back to this one. Alright, so we're going to end it here, but you best believe darn good and well, we're going to present our medical report card on this particular statement by Kurikuta, and hopefully we can make better progress next time. I love this game. I've been obsessed Ace Attorney fan since, I want to say, around 2007. Started off with Apollo Justice, not Phoenix Wright. If I never made that clear before, Apollo Justice was my first foray into Ace Attorney lore and logic. So, which means that I saw Phoenix after he lost his badge and, you know, got banished from law and all that good stuff. But anyways, as far as Ryunosuke Naruhodo goes, I like his journey into becoming a defense attorney himself. Because right now his best friend is the one that's like doing all the plays and like making a lot of our advancement in this trial come forth. Because we get tongue-tied. I get tongue-tied. So I totally relate wholeheartedly to Ryunosuke on a spiritual level or whatever. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. And until next time when we confront Kurikuta, I hope you all have a great and wonderfully awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.